that made us one of the best companies to work for in Asia with the best culture and work processes. And I can say that it's really a good timing then today because our live coincides with the same time as our trophy tour, which we launched earlier. So we will be showing you guys our Harmonia trophy. I hope you can see it now. So what you're seeing now is the live feed from our office here at PNB.
Alright, so I'm sure you guys are seeing right now how aesthetically pleasing, how beautiful our offices are. So, yeah. And congratulations again to our Emapta family. And partner, one more thing about winning. Our viewers will get a chance to win 500 pesos worth of GCash just by joining us live. Before this live, we asked people to send in their questions by commenting on our announcement post. We pre-selected the questions from that post. So, if your question is read in today's live session, you will get a chance to win 500 pesos of GCash.
So please don't be shy and be part of the conversation. After all, it's a great topic to talk about. And of course, then to make this live interactive, everyone can share their thoughts and send in their questions by commenting below. And I think it's a tradition here in our FB Live to ask the host first. My first time, so let me ask you first then, can you share your thoughts about our topic today, which is company values? Genuine drivers of culture or just empty slogans?
You know what, once I think our company values are important drivers of culture because if not all the time, most of the time, these core values are tied with the team's performance, with the KPIs, and we also measure those values, right? So it really influences how our team performs. What about you? What are your thoughts about this?
Well, for me, it's of course every company would have a slogan whenever we talk about employee experience in general. But what is important is how the company lives that out on a day-to-day basis in the organization. Whether we're talking about, say, performance, what you see in the office, the actual experience of employees, the way work is done, the way they're constantly engaged outside working hours, or even the way the offices are designed, the responsiveness of support teams, and the need to be flexible for the need of our employees. It all encapsulates what a slogan should be and how that translates into culture that you cannot just see but actually feel on a day-to-day basis.
That's right. Thank you so much for sharing your insights with us. And now we want to know what you guys think. So do you agree with our answers or do you have a different take? Let us know in the comments. And if you have questions, if you have other things you'd like to share with us, please feel free to voice them out through our chat or through the comments rather, and let's discuss them, right? We will try to read all of them live. And you know what? I'm actually seeing some comments here. Let's start reading some of the questions. And good thing we have our first timer ones here to answer some of our burning questions.
Burning questions.
Let's see. We have here, can you share success stories or case studies where our values played a pivotal role in achieving positive outcomes?
I mean, we see this every day. I mean, we've asked earlier during the Harmonia Trophy launch to for everyone who joined to tag us using hashtag Emapta experience. But really, on a day-to-day basis, I'm not really that present on social media then. But at the time, a couple of months ago when I was really there, I'm so surprised that even if there are no activities, no big events, or as you can say, org-wide events, I see employees even on LinkedIn using hashtag Emapta experience for the simplest of things. I mean, I'm talking about, and you might find this funny, our sparkling water here in PNB, the flowing sparkling water. You might think that, it's immaterial, it's so mundane. and yet it elevates experience, and that kind of simplicity is something that employees value, and so you can see them posting it on FB using hashtag Emapta experience, and even say when you attend account specific activities,
Yeah.
when they take group photos, it's very interesting. I've seen some of them, and then when you take the photo, I mean, you'll say cheese, right? What they'll say is hashtag Emapta experience. It's for me, that's really how we live out the culture that we want to see in the organization, and that I think is a true success story in its own right.
Right, and just to add to that, I've also seen those photos, those stories, because we have different setups, work setups here at Emapta. And for those that are working in a hybrid setup, sometimes they'd see their teams like maybe once or twice a month. And every time they get together, I'd see them post on Instagram or on LinkedIn and just tagging hashtag Emapta experience. So I think that really shows that.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, we have a lot of interesting questions here, but just keep them coming in. We're excited to see those questions.
Yeah.
Next, we have what steps can the company take to ensure that its values remain meaningful and not just empty slogans? Very aligned with today's topic.
Airline. I mean, I actually prepared a deck for this. I'm just kidding. But really, it starts out with obviously being very clear with the values or the culture that you want to celebrate in the company. Then you need role models for that. Employees who really exude the culture that you want to espouse. From there, rather, you reward it. You reward them, you recognize them. But it really doesn't stop there. The real work happens when you start aligning your processes, even your KPIs. I'll take a very important example here then. When we say hashtag Emapta experience, it's all about being responsive. But being responsive is very relative. Responsive for you might mean 24 hours. Others would be, I don't know, maybe they're good with 48 hours. But what is important is internally in our processes, when we say we're responsive, when an employee asks a question, we do our best to respond and resolve it in the fastest way possible and become flexible with whatever solutions we're going to give.
Right.
That's important. If that's something that we don't do, it really will just be an empty slogan.
Yeah, so those slogans, whichever it may be, it has to really translate into actions that people can feel, right? And people can experience.
That's right.
Which is why hashtag Emapta
Emapta
experience. Okay, so yeah, we're actually getting a lot of questions here on our comment section. So guys, just keep them coming. But another question that we have, and I think I find this interesting, how can I know if the company I'm applying for has a false slogan?
That's very tricky. That's a very tricky question. So my recommendation really is, if you are on the lookout for a company that truly celebrates employee experience, do your research.
Yeah.
Do your research, ask friends even about their experience. That's always very helpful. Because the tendency is then, I mean, when we apply in a company, we hear about, that sounds like, I know that company. Like, 1,000 people know about that company. But sometimes it ends there. So just like, if you're buying something and you're investing in it, this time, you're investing your skills, your career even in that company. You have to do your research. And the good thing about in this day and age is everything is online. The internet is written in ink, as they would say. So that's a good place to start for sure. And the best way to even validate that, find out if you have friends or maybe your network in LinkedIn who work in that same organization.
That's right, and I can definitely agree to reading the reviews. It lets you know what are the people who work there, what are their experiences. If there are any challenges, what are some of the challenges, right? So that it can really help you prepare. And one of the things I think that you'll figure out if a company has a false slogan is when you go there on your first day and you don't really feel like. Is the slogan real or not? And that's why, again, here with Emapta, we focus on the experience, which is why if you're watching this, perhaps you've attended our onboarding session. It's very comprehensive. You get to meet our leaders, Inge and Miss Nina, and even your assigned customer experience managers and people business partners,
Right,
the
yeah.
people you can reach out to. So really focusing on that experience.
Right. It's really all about making sure that it's really not an empty slogan. You just don't see it, you feel it.
Yes.
That's, I think, the key word is feeling it.
Okay, so
I see that we have a couple of other interesting questions.
and more viewers are coming in. Thank you
More
so
viewers,
much.
thank you so much for joining us. If you're just joining now, this is our career talks, and thank you for being with us this afternoon.
Right, and I just noticed this question because I think this person is asking for career advice. So he says that I think my company's motto of work-life balance is the opposite of what they do. Any tips? Should I look for a new company?
All right, before anything else, the best thing to always do is approach your immediate supervisor, manager, or leader and express what you feel. At Emapta, this is something that we truly promote. So that we really have an open door policy. You can reach out to any leader. And I know that a lot of amazing organizations in the Philippines also have that kind of policy where they can approach their leaders. Always do that first. If that doesn't work out, if no agreement can be reached, then maybe that's the time that you start exploring.
Yeah, that's right. Having that open communication
Right.
and that supportive relationship, I would say, with your leader is very important for you to not just have that work-life balance, but for you to also succeed in your role. So that's really the first step.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, this next question. A little bit controversial. No, just kidding. But what about companies that change taglines? Does that change their identity or mission?
I mean, I would ask back that question to our viewers, but we have no way of. It might take a while,
Yeah.
right? But really, my take on that is it can, because a slogan or even the vision mission of a company dictates the direction that it wants to take. A change in the tagline, as they would say, could mean a change ultimately in the vision for the company.
Right.
So you always want to make sure that the tagline is aligned where you want to go. If it's not, then there's a tendency for employees to be confused. It won't translate into their day-to-day. It will affect engagement. It will affect a lot of things. But one thing is for sure, for any organization who goes through organizational change or culture change, as we say, it's important to always have communication lines open. Throughout that transformation process, we should be able to hear out our leaders and our employees and vice versa. It's really about open communication then, as you mentioned earlier.
That's right. Okay, so I think we can answer maybe 2 to 3 more questions because I just noticed one here which I can answer. Do you have mental health sessions for your employees in order to have work balance life? Well, since I'm part of the learning and
Yes.
development team, yes, we do have sessions related to mental health. For example, just this month in September, we had a session on wellness first aid facilitated by our manager, Ms. Ching, because
Right.
she's a certified life coach. So, some of our team members attended that, and we have received really good feedback. And even with our HMO,
That's
I
right,
think
yeah.
our team members can also avail of
Yes.
free mental health sessions.
That's
There you
right,
go.
yep. And that's the amazing thing about it. I mean, internally, we really do offer and equip our employees on how to respond to those situations. But you know how it is then. When we talk about mental health, not everyone is really open about it.
Yeah.
There's still a stigma, something that we want to change, obviously. But that's what the private therapy sessions are for in partnership with our healthcare provider.
That's right. So yeah, if you guys would like to, if you're an Emapta employee, you'd like to explore that and you'd like to know more, just reach
Yeah.
out to your people business partner, and they should be able to help you out.
Yes.
Right. Okay. One more question here. What do you do to keep these values intact in times that the company experiences trials? I think it's normal for any company to experience difficulties, but how do we make sure that the values are still there?
Right. Wow. That's us. If I'll describe it in a song, that's a deep cut. That's a deep cut from the vault, from the archives for sure. But the way to make sure that it's intact is to go back to your purpose or why. It's all about asking yourself that question, not just as an organization, but individually as employees, teams, or departments. We should ask ourselves that question: why are we doing this in the first place? Why are we here? Why do we want to add value? Why do we want to elevate employee experience? Why do we need to do all of these things? And if the culture and the values of the company are really deeply rooted, everyone would have an answer to that. Because really, you go back to your purpose. If you don't know your purpose and something happens, there's a tendency to get lost. But from the very first day, if your direction is clear, no matter what happens, no matter how challenging it could be, if you know where you want to go, you will get there because you know the answer to your why. That's your purpose.
That's right. And just to add to that, if there's this concept from Simon Sinek which says you have to start with the why.
Yes.
Because it's easy for us to answer the question, what do we offer, what do we have, right? It's also easy to answer the question, how? Like, how do we do things? How are we different from our competition? But always going back to your core, to your why, will help sustain you, right? So
I
it's
love
very
that.
important.
That brings back a lot of memories. Start with a why. I mean, we did launch LEAP, right? Our very own leadership development program, which is obviously not part of this live, but because we're talking about career, we really did quote Simon Sinek on that in one of our launch videos. And that's because we always need to answer that question, why. It's right, it sounds simple, but once you start asking yourself why, I mean, you'll spend hours and hours on it. But yeah, that's for sure a very important question.
Right, and you know what? I saw a question here. Just couldn't find it, but I remember what it says. The person said, and I'm very interested to hear your thoughts on this one as our deputy head of people and culture. The person said, this is a common question, but how do you take care of your employees?
There are a lot of ways, really. You start with the basics for sure. If you want to be very technical about it, we can go through Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but
Yeah.
we won't get into that. It's all about looking at the basics. Is the compensation intact? Are employees able to receive their pay on time? That's the first thing, right? Right? If that doesn't happen, which you might think is a very simple process, but it's not, that already topples off everything, right? That's the first one. Number two, benefits. Even if you're offering the best benefits, are the employees able to effectively use them? Is it that accessible for them? Do they need to fill out 100 forms just to get those benefits and maximize them? That's the second one. The third one, and I'm sorry to, be a little more detailed about this. The third one is really work, the actual work or performance. So no matter how good your pay is, no matter how good the benefits are, if the work that you do is not aligned, it doesn't motivate you. You don't feel fulfilled at the end of the day that, it's amazing that this is what I do on a day-to-day basis. That already affects engagement and experience. We don't get to take good care of our employees when that happens. And on a more deeper level, the feeling of belongingness and connectedness to the company. So let me just go back. You have really good pay, amazing benefits. That's the kind of work that you do, but you feel alone. Maybe you're working from home and not working on site. The pandemic really brought out a lot of interesting dynamics when it comes to working for sure then, right? But even if you're working alone, you need to constantly feel connected to the company, which is Emapta. You need to feel that you belong. And the way to do that is by coming up with all of the activities that we have, hashtag Emapta experience, and making sure that employees feel that, hey, I might be working from home and I'm alone here, or maybe I'm the only person in this account, but I really feel that I'm part of an amazing organization. And that really rounds up the feeling of, this is how my organization, my company is taking care of me.
Wow, thank you for that very insightful.
That's a TED Talk already.
A TED Talk on how we take care of our employees. But yeah, we're also seeing some comments here. They're quite amusing. I'm thankful for my hashtag Emapta experience of seeing my crush every day at the office. Yeah, and hashtag Emapta cuties.
Oh yeah.
And then another is my best hashtag Emapta experience are the bidets in our offices. I think for me it's the sparkling water.
Same. I actually filled my really big jug in the room just so that I can bring that home. Don't tell anybody. But yeah.
All right, and I'm really loving this discussion once. It got intense, definitely,
Right.
and insightful. But sadly, we do not have enough time for today's live. But thank you so much to everyone who commented, who watched our live, and thank you for sharing your thoughts with us today.
I couldn't agree more than it really is an insightful discussion. I would have loved to discuss it further, but and I think all of us, including me, have learned one thing or two from this. And I hope if you're watching right now and you're an Emapta employee, you get to feel that you are truly part of a company that really values its employees. That's why it's hashtag Emapta experience. And that it's not just an empty slogan. I think this career talk in itself is already a testament to that, right? And now, before we end this live, let's not forget, we promised you this, we'll announce the winner of our giveaway. So then, please do the honor of announcing our lucky winner.
All right, so it's a hashtag Wednesday win indeed for you because you have won 500 pesos worth of GCash. Congratulations to Cecil Moreno. Woo!
Congratulations, Cecil. So please send us your full name, email, and of course, don't forget your GCash number via private message, right, to claim your prize.
All right, congratulations.
Congratulations, Cecil.
Yes, and for our other viewers, if you guys also want to be updated with our happenings, lives, giveaways, and even our job openings, we invite you to follow us on our socials. That is Emapta Experience on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and TikTok.
All right. So that's it for today's Career Talk, everyone. As an HR person, I'm thankful.
Yeah.
I mean, both of us, I guess. So I get to share my thoughts and hear wonderful insight from everyone. So to everyone who sent out their questions and comments, thank you. So thank you so much for joining us today. until our next live event. Once again, my name is Juan Salazar, Deputy Head of People and Culture PH of Emapta.
And I am Dan Yu, Emapta's Learning and Development Consultant. We hope to see you at our future lives and our future discussions. See you guys again soon, and congratulations again